Hi, everyone. I'm Taylor Combaluzier, a mining analyst at Red Cloud Securities. This session of our Oktoberfest Fall Mining Showcase will feature Altaley Mining Corp. We would like to thank Empress Royalty for sponsoring this session. Altaley Mining is a Canadian-based, publicly traded mining company operating in Mexico that engages in exploration, development, and operation of polymetallic mineral resource projects. From the company, we have with us Ralph Shearing, CEO, President, and Director. I'll note that if attendees have questions throughout the presentation, to submit them using the Q&A link, and we'll get to them at the end of the session. The corporate presentation is also available on the conference website. And with that, I'll turn it over to Ralph to walk you through the story.
Thank you, Taylor, very much. Thank you, everybody. I've got about a 30-minute presentation to cram into 10 minutes, so I'm going to talk very quickly. Altaley is building the next mid-tier metals producer in Mexico with two mines, one in operation, CAMPO MORADO, and the other in construction, TAHUEHUETO. Forward-looking statements. I will be giving forward-looking statements. I encourage you to read this at your leisure. Location, TAHUEHUETO, our gold mine under construction, is located in northwestern Durango, and CAMPO MORADO, our zinc mine right now, is in production down in the state of Guerrero. Both of these mines we own 100%. Over at TAHUEHUETO, we're constructing a 1,000 ton per day mining operation, about 80% complete. We expect to have our first ball mill up and running near the end of this year, second ball mill first quarter of next year, and then ramping up to full production at 1,000 tons per day during the year. 25,000 ounces of gold is what we expect to produce annually, 400,000 ounces of silver on a gold equivalent basis with all metals, around 42,000 ounces is what we're projecting. 81% of the projected revenue is precious metals and 19% from base metals at TAHUEHUETO. CAMPO MORADO is a zinc mine. It's the 6th largest zinc concentrate producer in Mexico. It's an underground mining operation. So far this year, in the first half, we have produced 21 million pounds of zinc, and we expect to produce 41 million pounds of zinc throughout the year if production remains as constant. And both of these projects have organic growth potential. We expect we can double or triple the sizes of these mines in the future as we get exploration up and running. Investment highlights, CAMPO MORADO has growing cash flow, stable cash flow. We're generated an average of $2.1 million in monthly EBITDA the first 6 months of the year. We have a pathway to increase production by 1,000 tons per day to get to 3,000 tons per day by finishing off construction of a flotation circuit that was 80% complete when we bought the mine. We're exploring metallurgical improvements at this point in time. We hope to have a pathway to really increase our precious metal recoveries, which have gone through first phase testing and shown there is potentially available 400% increases in gold recoveries and 200% increase in silver recoveries. TAHUEHUETO is a near-term production, 80% complete. Initial production expected, as I mentioned, the end of this year. The pathway to increase the size of this mine by getting exploration going, and we hope to double or triple the size of the mine over the next 2 to 5 years. Once TAHUEHUETO is in production, we expect to be re-rated as a high-growth precious metal producer, which will double our sales and EBITDA, and we'll be producing about just under 60% of our revenue from precious metals. We're currently trading at about 1.4 times enterprise value over EBITDA. That's 80% plus below other Mexican metal producers. We've really strengthened up our board of directors. I would encourage everybody to look at this in more detail, but due to time constraints, I'm going to just mention a couple of people. I'm the president CEO. I'm a geologist. I've had over 30 years experience in managing public companies. David Rhodes is our executive chairman. David is the managing director of Endeavour Financial out of the UK. And David, Endeavour Financial has raised billions of dollars for the mining industry. We've also signed Endeavour Financial up as an advisor. Ruben Alvidrez is a member of a prominent Mexican mining family. His brother is the CEO of Fresnillo. His father, now retired, was a senior member of Peñoles. Ruben's been very helpful. And finally, just quickly, Armando Alexandri, 40 years of experience in building and operating mines in Mexico. He's our COO. The company's guided with very good hands right now. Jumping into TAHUEHUETO, I'll talk a little bit about this, show you what we've got. This project. It's under construction. Once it's in construction, we believe it'll be one of the top 4 highest grade producers in Mexico. We have reserves of 3.2 million tons, 3.4 grams per ton gold with 41 silver plus base metals. That will give us at least a 10-year mine life. M&I resources, which includes the reserves, is up to 6.1 million tons. By increasing confidence in M&I, we could have up to 20-year mine life at 1,000 tons per day. We'll be producing around 42,000 ounces of gold equivalent. All metals, 25,000 of that will be gold. All-in sustaining costs looks like it's around $800 per gold equivalent ounce. Low cost producer, and we'll be producing 1,000 tons per day. A few pictures just to show you our construction. This up here was a couple months ago. This is more current inside the mill. The mill about a month ago here, ball mills are being installed. The construction is moving along very, very well. This slide shows you the potential of the district. So this district is about 12 kilometers long by 8 kilometers wide. Altaley's concession occupy about 83% of that district. They're outlined in yellow. We have, or sorry, outlined in blue. This shows the internal concession block. Around here, we have our only competitor is Fresnillo, who owns a sliver of ground around our internal concessions, and then we again surround them. This presents an erosional window where all of these lines are shown. These all represent main structures we know of on surface, and it's been eroded underneath to expose this lower volcanic unit. I believe all of these vein structures will be repeated over in these areas, but it's covered over by younger rock. We've only explored along this one red structure. It goes up over the hill here, couldn't drill it there, goes all the way down into this arroyo. From here to Cinco de Mayo is 3.4 kilometers. The ultimate strike distance on this district, as we know it now, is about 7 kilometers from the river up to our most northerly showing, which is up in here. This red structure represents the only area we've extensively drilled and has resources and or reserves. We couldn't drill it there, too much overlying cover. All of these others are structures that we need to go out and explore and are there on surface. We did drill 6 holes on Texclama. We see similar mineralization as we see along our major structures. Next slide will show you a long section through that zone. This is what the ore bodies look like at depth. Outlined in this blue color is a reserve, not outlined as a resource. We expect to infill drill and bring a lot of these resources into reserves. We're open to depth. We have not found the limits of the mineralization to depth. This area has been unable to be drilled from surface due to overlying cover. However, we've drifted in 150 meters past the last known drill hole, and we're in mineralization all the way. Our plans would be to drift right across to the other Santiago zone and then drill this area off. I believe we'll repeat these types of ore bodies throughout here and could add another third to our resources and reserves just from that one area alone, and then continue to extend the drilling along strike in both directions and be able to continue to develop resources and reserves on this structure along strike and to depth. Campo Morado, talk a little bit about that. This is an operating mine. It's the 6th largest zinc producer in Mexico at this point in time. It's the mill. This is a tailings facility, which we hope to reprocess. This facility has a lot of metal in it, especially precious metals that weren't recovered at first pass, but we think we have a pathway to recover that stuff. Here, M&I resources, 16.6 million tons. This is a fairly high grade for a volcanogenic massive sulfide deposit, so 1.7 grams per ton gold, 123 silver. It's got 0.8 copper, 0.9 lead, and 4% zinc in the global resource. One of the unfortunate situations at Campo Morado is the metallurgy is tough, and we don't recover a lot of this precious metal. We get about 20% recoveries in gold, 30 to 40% recoveries in silver, but we do have a pathway to improve that, and we're working on that now. These resources will give us a 20-year mine life. We have achieved 77 cents per pound all-in sustaining cost in Q2 2021 and a project cost of 48 cents per pound. So we have a lot of room if we can maintain these costs to absorb lower zinc prices. And if you notice the zinc market these days, it's not going lower, it's going much higher at $1.70 per pound yesterday. We've made $2.2 million average monthly EBITDA in the first 6 months of this year. A few photos, tailings facility, crusher. This This is the flotation circuit that is available for us to complete construction to expand production by 1,000 tons per day. Traditional flotation cells carry on. Production profile over the last 4 quarters, we've steadily increased our revenues. Q2 2021, $18.4 million in revenue, and concentrate production has moved up. We're steadying off in these areas and we'll plateau there over the coming months. What do we want to do at Campo Morado? Well, we could bring that flotation circuit online, expand production to 3,000 tons per day, 30% increase. Or we may have a better way to proceed. We're doing what I would term a full court press on metallurgy. This is a pneumatic flotation cell, which does a fairly good job of recovering microfine ground ore. And so we're testing that now. Nearstar, the old owner of this mine, was gearing up to go to microfine grinding. All of the grinding equipment is there on site, so we have the benefit of that. So we're testing 3 technologies over the rest of this year to see which one performs best. And that should give us ability to get better base metal recoveries. And then subsequent to that, go study forced oxidation and leaching of the tailings. This has been tested through first phase. Leach ox testing improved gold recoveries to 65%. That's 400% increase to what we've been getting through the beginning 6 months of this year. 81% recoveries in silver, 200% increase. So if this works through second phase testing, we can put that technology in the mine and really increase our revenues. It will also open up the possibility of reprocessing the existing tailings, where production records show 280,000 ounces of gold equivalent resources, gold and silver only. So if we do a regrind on that, we hope to recover a lot of that metal. This is not a 43-101 compliant resource. This is based on production records. We know the grades of the tailings. We know the quantity of tailings been deposited. That's how we calculate it. Campo Morado has excellent exploration potential. We believe we can really increase the resource and reserves there and potentially expand this mine to 5,000 tons a day or more, but that is a long-term goal. It would require exploration success. And here's why we believe we can get exploration success. So this longitudinal representation of the ore bodies at Campo Morado, the G9 Southwest zone is where the majority of the mining occurred from the previous owners. We've been mining this El Largo, the brown zone. We have a year's ore left there, and we're dewatering to go down and access another year's ore in this area of the G9. And then we'll move to this Naranjo South, Naranjo North zone, unless exploration discovers more ore in stacked ore bodies underneath existing ore bodies. And there's very good indications that that's possible. This colorful image up above is a borehole geophysical representation, electromagnetics. This area is the El Largo. All of these anomalies are occurring underneath in this area. This one under El Rey is in here. And Nearstar actually drilled, the previous owners drilled some of the anomalies in this area and intersected good thick sections of massive sulfides, over 12 meters of high-grade material in one hole here. But we need to put a lot more drill holes in there to develop that, to see whether it develops into an ore body that we can mine. But we would expect to find more of these stacked ore bodies in this VMS environment, which is very common for this type of an ore body. Looking at a property scale, what I just showed you is within this blue ellipse. These are all very advanced geophysical, geochemical anomalies that were developed by Nearstar, the former owner, and they're drill ready. All we have to do is set up a drill and drill those. Any one of these could bring in new massive sulfide targets for the company. Running out of time, quickly, I'll show you the capital market structure. We're currently trading in the high 40s, highs and lows, 16 to 80 cents this past year. We have 254 million shares issued. With options and warrants, we'll have 333 million shares issued. Our market capitalization is just under 100 million US dollars. We have $4 million cash on hand, another 3.2 that's restricted. There's a story behind that, but it's too long to explain at the moment. Loan debt, 35 million, primarily to Trafigura and to Nearstar, gives us an enterprise value of $127 million. And this is a peer comparison that we have. This the ratio of enterprise value over EBITDA. Altaley is 1.4. This is Mexican polymetallic producers averaging 11, pure gold producers averaging 4.5. That's our growth potential as we realize our goals. And I think I'm out of time, so I'm going to pass it over to Taylor, and we can go on to answer questions.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Ralph. We are actually right out of time, so we don't have any time left for questions. But you fit a lot, big story there into 15 minutes. So good run through. I think you did a great job.
Thank you, Taylor. So I mean, if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them subsequent and email, whatever. So just feel free to forward them off.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Ralph.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.